What if the ultimate safety net became the ultimate weapon? In Dragon Ball, death is just a waiting room. But what if the Dragon Balls didn't grant a wish, but chose a vessel instead? Namek was tearing itself apart. The sky bled green and red. Frieza laughed, a fractured, desperate sound, as the Namekian Dragon Balls began to glow. Porunga was summoned, but no one spoke the wish. Instead of scattering, the 7 spheres shrieked through the air like homing missiles. They didn't fly into the sky. They flew straight into the chest of a bruised, battered Super Saiyan. Goku gasped. A blinding emerald light erupted from his veins. Frieza stopped laughing. The universe held its breath. The mechanism of creation had just merged with a mortal who purely loved to punch things. The power didn't just boost him, it anchored him. Frieza launched a desperate death ball. Goku casually flicked his wrist. Not a ki blast, he just wished the attack out of existence. Namek detonated. Goku didn't even need the pod. A stray thought of home and space folded around him. He crashed into Earth's grass, leaving behind a dead tyrant and a vanished set of wish orbs. Back on Earth, the dust settled. Piccolo stared at the empty pedestal where Kami's Dragon Balls used to sit. They were gone, not stone, just erased. The cosmic link had been hijacked by Goku's biology. The reset button was completely destroyed. Shenron and Porunga were retired permanently. Every single death from this exact moment forward was final. The Z-Fighters were flying without a net. Stakes were suddenly suffocatingly real. The universe's first warning arrived a month later. Goku was asleep, thrashing in a nightmare about Krillin. He woke up screaming, his pulse loud enough to drown out his own panic thoughts. Outside Goku's window, Mount Paozu was just gone, erased, replaced by a perfectly flat plane of glass. His purest emotion, raw, unfiltered terror, had bypassed Ki entirely and rewritten reality without his permission.
I didn't mean to.
Goku muttered, staring at his hands. They wouldn't stay still. The cold that comes before dying washed over him. He wasn't just a martial artist anymore. He was a loaded gun. His closest friends grasped the horror immediately. Bulma, Krillin, Piccolo. They looked at the goofy hero they loved and saw the single most dangerous being alive. The trust fractured, quietly but completely. They started managing him. Bulma monitored his heart rate. Piccolo meditated near his house, sensing for emotional spikes. They weren't protecting Goku from the world. They were protecting the world from Goku. You know it's bad when Piccolo is playing therapist. Honestly, any timeline where the Demon King is handing out coping mechanisms is a wild ride. But they had no choice. One tantrum could unmake the solar system. Then there was Vegeta. The Prince of all Saiyans stared at his rival and realized a bitter truth. He could never close this raw power gap. Goku hadn't just moved the goalposts, he erased the stadium. So Vegeta's path split. He traded chasing godhood for becoming the anchor. He focused on pure tactics, mental discipline, and ideology. He became the only person willing to tell Goku the dangerous, ugly truth.
You are a hazard, Kakarot.
Vegeta sneered, arms crossed.
You cannot afford to feel, so I will do the feeling and the bleeding for both of us.
Vegeta became the universe's human check on a god. Meanwhile, light years away, the cosmic hierarchy felt a massive disturbance. Supreme Kai Shin dropped his tea. A mortal hadn't just tapped into creation energy, he swallowed the whole damn battery. Farther still, in a realm of eternal twilight, a god of destruction stirred in his sleep. Beerus didn't wake fully, but a murmur escaped his lips.
A mortal wishing star.
Whis just smiled, tapping his staff. Goku was reclassified overnight from an interesting mortal to an existential threat. The Kais began debating whether to erase Earth entirely. The gods now had a problem they literally hadn't planned for. Back on Earth, 3 years passed. The androids arrived, just as Trunks warned, but the battles felt entirely different. No one was smiling. One wrong move, one fatality, and they were gone forever. When Dr. Gero unleashed Android 19, Goku stepped up. But as his blood pumped, the sky turned a sickly green. His thrill for battle was leaking. The joy of the fight was rewriting the weather.
Stop!
Vegeta barked, kicking Goku out of the way.
If you enjoy this, you'll accidentally turn the atmosphere to plasma. Sit down, Kakarot.
Vegeta dismantled the android himself, brutal and entirely emotionless. This was the central tragedy engine of Goku's new life. His purest joy, fighting strong opponents for the thrill, was the exact thing that could unmake the world. The hero had to fear his own defining trait. He traded his martial artist's soul for a cage. Goku stood on the sidelines, watching his friends bleed, terrified that if he stepped in and felt the rush of combat, he'd accidentally wish them all away. Then came Cell. The bioandroid absorbed 17 and 18 with terrifying efficiency. But Cell had Piccolo's cells and Frieza's cunning. He quickly realized he couldn't outpower the vessel of the Dragon Balls. The smartest enemies pivot. Cell didn't challenge Goku to a test of strength. You can't punch a genie to death. Instead, the new goal became psychological warfare. He needed to trigger Goku's emotions. Cell broadcasted the Cell games, but with a twisted new rule.
I won't destroy the Earth, Goku.
Cell purred into the camera.
I'm going to torture your friends until you wish me into a true god.
The stakes were agonizing. Cell knew if Goku snapped in the wrong way, Goku would destroy the planet himself out of sheer panic. Cell was playing a game of cosmic chicken with a reality bomb. The day of the Cell games arrived. The wasteland was deadly silent. No bravado, no dramatic speeches. The Z-Fighters stood like soldiers marching to a firing squad. Death was permanent today. Gohan stepped into the ring first. Goku had forbidden himself from fighting. He sat on a rock, eyes closed, meditating furiously to keep the sky from turning to ash. The green aura flickered around his skin. Cell laughed, a sound like grinding metal. He didn't just fight Gohan, he dissected him. Every strike was calculated to maximize pain, broadcasting the boy's screams directly to his father's ears, the ultimate stress test. Goku's hands wouldn't stay still. The earth beneath him began to turn into screaming glass.
Don't intervene.
Piccolo hissed, grabbing Goku's shoulder.
If you lose control now, Gohan dies anyway and takes the galaxy with him.
It's a sick irony. The man who loved fighting more than breathing was forced to watch his son be beaten to death, entirely paralyzed by his own omnipotence. Every flinch birthed a new thunderstorm above. Cell grinned, wiping blood from his cheek.
Come on, Goku. Get angry. Wish me away. Or wish me stronger. Just feel something.
The bioandroid wasn't fighting for perfection anymore. He was fighting for a miracle. Gohan collapsed, coughing blood. The boy looked at his father not with pleading eyes, but with understanding. Gohan knew, if his dad stepped in, the universe might break. The kid traded his life for the world. But Vegeta wasn't having it. The Prince of Saiyans didn't care about the universe's fragile glass. He cared about pride. Vegeta flash-stepped into the ring, catching Cell's fatal blow meant for Gohan.
I told you, Kakarot.
Vegeta spat, blood pooling in his mouth.
I do the bleeding for both of us.
Vegeta wasn't stronger than Cell, but his absolute lack of fear was a weapon of its own. Vegeta fought like a demon dragged back from hell. No wasted movements, no prideful boasting, just a brutal surgical dismantling of Cell's joints. He was buying time. He was acting as the human check on destiny. Up in the sacred world of the Kais, Shin watched in stunned silence. A mortal prince was sacrificing himself to keep a false god from waking up. It defied every cosmic law the Supreme Kai knew. Cell grew frustrated. He blasted Vegeta through a mountain.
You're ruining the experiment, Vegeta.
Cell shrieked. He raised a finger, pointing a death beam directly at the paralyzed, meditating Goku.
Wake up, vessel.
The beam pierced Goku's shoulder. Pain, sharp, hot, undeniable pain. Goku's eyes snapped open, and for a fraction of a second, he didn't feel fear. He felt the pure, unadulterated Saiyan thrill of being challenged. Reality warped violently. The sky shattered like a mirror, revealing the dark void of space. Gravity inverted, the oceans began to float. Goku's momentary joy had just wished the Earth's physical laws out of existence.
No!
Goku screamed, clamping his hands over his head.
Put it back! Put it back!
The green aura flared, suffocating him. Gravity slammed back down, crushing mountains into dust. He was a prisoner in his own skin. Cell was ecstatic.
Yes, that power. Give it to me.
Cell lunged, aiming his tail stinger directly at Goku's chest. He didn't want to kill him anymore. He wanted to absorb the Dragon Balls directly from the source. Time seemed to freeze. Goku saw the stinger coming. He could wish Cell dead. He could wish for peace. But any wish born of adrenaline would be corrupted. He needed utter, absolute emptiness. He needed zero. In that microscopic second, Goku didn't rely on Super Saiyan rage. He forced his heart rate to plummet. He let go of the fight, the fear, the joy. He embraced the cold void of absolute neutrality. It wasn't Ultra Instinct, but it was its quiet, tragic cousin. Goku dodged the stinger without looking. His eyes were blank, completely devoid of the spark that made him who he was. He was empty.
What are you?
Cell gasped, stumbling forward. Goku didn't answer. He didn't smile. He placed a single, gently glowing hand on Cell's chest. No anger, no thrill. Just a solemn, mechanical execution of a threat.
I wish you were gone.
Goku whispered. His voice held zero inflection. It wasn't a ki blast, it wasn't a technique. The emerald light flared, and Cell simply ceased to exist, erased from the timeline entirely. The silence that followed was deafening. No explosion, no triumphant music, just the wind blowing across a shattered wasteland. The monster was dead, but the victory felt like a funeral. The reset button was truly gone. Krillin and Piccolo rushed over to heal Gohan with Senzu beans. They looked at Goku, waiting for the thumbs up, the goofy grin. But Goku just floated there, his eyes dull. The cost of saving the world was his soul.
Kakarot,
Vegeta grunted, clutching his broken ribs.
you held it together.
Goku slowly turned his head.
I didn't hold it together, Vegeta. I turned it off. I don't think I can ever turn it back on.
The aftermath was a bitter pill. Earth was safe, but its greatest protector had placed himself in permanent quarantine. Goku built a cabin far from anyone, deep in the mountains. He lived like a monk, terrified to smile. If he laughed too hard, a forest might catch fire. If he cried, a river might dry up. He spent his days meditating, suppressing the Saiyan blood that screamed for battle. He was a god chained to a rock. You have to wonder how Chi-Chi handled it. Honestly, she probably just laid down the law, no reality warping at the dinner table. But the distance between them was an ocean. He couldn't be a husband or a father anymore. Years bled away. The Majin threat never materialized. Babidi sensed the massive, unstable creation energy on Earth and immediately turned his ship around. Even a wizard knows better than to poke a walking supernova with a stick. But the universe hates a vacuum. Up in his realm, Beerus finally woke up. Whiz poured him a cup of tea.
My lord, the Super Saiyan god you dreamed of, he ate the Dragon Balls.
Beerus paused. Beerus didn't smile. A mortal wielding creation magic wasn't a fun sparring partner. It was an insult to the gods of destruction.
Prepare the staff, Wiz. We're going to Earth. This glitch needs to be Hakkai'd.
The arrival of a god of destruction wasn't a grand spectacle. Beerus simply appeared in front of Goku's cabin. Goku didn't sense his ki, but the sheer gravity of the deity made his emerald aura flare in self-defense.
You've made a mess of the cosmos, monkey.
Beerus stated, raising his palm. The purple energy of destruction sparked at his fingertips. Hakkai, the one thing that could permanently erase a being, regardless of their wishes. Goku didn't flinch. He didn't power up. He just looked at the god of destruction with tired, empty eyes.
If you erase me, the balls are gone forever. Are you sure you want to break the universe's toys?
Beerus hesitated, just for a fraction of a second. But in that second, Vegeta dropped from the sky, slamming between the god and the vessel.
You don't get to touch him.
Vegeta growled, fully ascended.
Move, mortal.
Beerus warned, but Vegeta stood his ground.
He is Earth's burden, not yours. If you want to test if his death unspools reality, you go right ahead. But you'll have to go through me.
It's brilliant, really. Vegeta, the man who once wanted the Dragon Balls for immortality, was now putting his permanent, one-and-done life on the line to protect them, the ultimate human check standing against a literal god. Wiz chuckled, a soft musical sound.
He has a point, my lord. If you Hakkai the vessel, the resulting metaphysical vacuum might erase Universe 7.
Beerus clicked his tongue in annoyance, lowering his hand. The standoff held.
Fine.
Beerus spat.
But he belongs to me now. He comes to my planet. If he is to be a god of creation, he will be trained by a god of destruction. I will teach him true control.
Goku looked back at Earth one last time. He saw Gohan studying, Piccolo meditating, Krillin laughing. He loved them enough to leave them forever. He nodded to Vegeta, the silent exchange of two men who understood the cost. Goku placed his hand on Wiz's shoulder. In a flash of light, they were gone. Earth was finally safe from its greatest hero. Vegeta looked up at the empty sky, the undisputed protector of a fragile world. On Beerus's planet, the training wasn't about getting stronger. It was about becoming nothing. Goku learned to separate his heart from his ki. He became a true deity, powerful, distant, and utterly devoid of the joy he once held. There would be no tournament of power, no Goku Black. The timeline stabilized under the quiet, terrifying reign of a Saiyan who could rewrite stars but refused to throw a punch. The ultimate sacrifice of a warrior's soul. Sometimes, in the dead of night, Wiz would catch Goku staring at his hands. The green sparks of Shenron still danced across his knuckles. A silent reminder of the day he swallowed a miracle and choked on it. What if Goku absorbed the Dragon Balls? He wouldn't become a villain. He wouldn't become a tyrant. He would become a prisoner, a man forced to lock away his own spirit just to keep his friends alive. The universe doesn't need a hero with infinite wishes. It needs a hero who knows when to bleed. Vegeta learned how to bleed, and Goku learned how to stop existing. A perfect tragic balance of power. So yeah, sometimes the ultimate power-up is actually a death sentence for who you are. Next time you wish for everything, make sure you can afford the price tag. Because absolute power doesn't corrupt, it just isolates.